2025's Mobile World Congress has once again seen the tech world flock to the streets of Barcelona, touting their latest, greatest innovations. And we have seen plenty of them, from quirky concepts to things that you can actually go and buy. We have, of course, had plenty of beer and tapas in the meantime. So here then are CNET's top 5 things from Mobile World Congress 2025. London-based tech firm Nothing is best known for its range of affordable Android phones that light up on the back, and its new models, the Phone 3A and 3A Pro, do not stray from that format. The two models share most of their key specs, including the processor, the 6.7-inch display, and the 5000 mAh batteries. And while both have 50-megapixel main cameras, the 3A Pro takes that a bit further with a slightly more refined autofocus system and a periscope zoom, giving up to 6 times zoom range, which is great if you want to get up close from a distance. I've taken it for a spin around Barcelona and got some pretty cool shots. Crucially though, both phones are affordable, with the Phone 3A starting at $379 and the 3A Pro starting at $459. That's not bad for phones that also pack in Google's Gemini AI and offer 6 years of software and security support. But we can't talk about affordable phones without mentioning Samsung's new Galaxy A series. The company took the wraps off its latest A series editions, including the Galaxy A26 at $300, the A36 at $400, and the A56 at $500. It does make me wonder why there's no A46 though. While all three phones have the same 6.7-inch displays and 5000 mAh batteries, spending a bit more on the higher end models will get you a bit more processor performance, a bit more RAM, and slightly more refined camera systems. Of course, you'll find AI features baked into Samsung's One UI, as well as Google's Gemini and Circle to Search. While Xiaomi's 15 Ultra with its amazing camera setup is arguably one of the best phones of the show, it's not that far removed from last year's 14 Ultra, and I actually had my eye on something else. Its modular optical system, as Xiaomi calls it, is best thought of as a small camera lens with an imaging sensor inside. Now this attaches to your phone, and then your phone becomes the brain of your camera as well as the viewfinder. What that really means is that you get much better imaging quality than you would normally be able to get from your phone. As a professional photographer myself, I love the idea of having that elevated performance, but not having to always carry around a bulky mirrorless camera. Sadly, Xiaomi says that its lens is strictly just a concept, so there's no telling whether this will ever actually make it to the shelves, but here's hoping. While we normally talk about which phones are the most powerful or have got the best cameras or the best battery life, HMD's Fusion X1 serves a very different purpose. It's aimed squarely at younger teens, and it allows parents to actually manage the apps and the total screen time that their kids are using. The idea is that it will help your kids develop a healthier relationship with technology and social media. As CNET's Katie Collins explains, whereas most phones with parental controls either rely on an app that can be deleted or bypassed, the Fusion X1 combines app-based controls baked deep into its version of Android. This creates a locked-down safe space where kids can still have limited access to Snapchat, WhatsApp, and TikTok if their parents agree. The HMD Fusion X1 will be available in May for about £220, which roughly converts to about $290. Projectors tend to be pretty bulky beasts that you would attach to your ceiling and then leave firmly in place, but the AURZEN Zip is a very different beast. It utilizes a folding mechanism that makes it look quite a lot like Samsung's Galaxy Z Flip 6, but it allows it to project an image onto your wall up to 80 inches in size, but then still fold down small enough to put into your pocket. It uses Apple AirPlay, so you can stream Netflix directly from your iPhone, but you can also get an HDMI adapter if you want to plug it into your laptop and stream other content. Its battery life is expected to be somewhere around 1.5 hours, so watching Dune 2 is probably going to be out of the question unless you plug it in. While a 720p resolution probably won't suit enthusiastic cinemaphiles, it is great if you want to take it round to a friend's house for a movie night, if you want to take it traveling, or actually just to use at home if you haven't got that much space in your apartment. Following its successful Kickstarter launch, the Zip will go on sale for $300 later this month. While rumors suggest Samsung's Galaxy S25 Edge may come in at just under 6mm thick, the TECNO Spark Slim may actually undercut that even more. At just 5.75mm thick, it really does look bizarrely skinny, and actually is being touted as the world's slimmest smartphone. Now, often really slim devices have to compromise on battery life simply because there's not that much body to squeeze all those cells into, but somehow TECNO has managed to squeeze in a 5200 mAh battery in there. It's also got two 50 megapixel cameras on the outside. It's very much still a concept, so some of those specs should be taken with a bit of a pinch of salt, but I would really love to see something like this come out. My only concern with something being that thin though is how durable is it? If I slide it into my back pocket and sit down, is it going to bend and break? Lenovo had a whole host of concept devices at this year's MWC, including some interesting screens that you can attach to your laptop's main screen in order to extend your workspace. But our favorite is the solar-powered laptop, which features an array of solar cells built into the lid. Lenovo reckons that these cells are particularly efficient and can actually give the laptop up to an hour of video playback time with just 20 minutes of charging in direct sunlight. Still, as CNET's Josh Goldman points out, it's not so much about powering the battery entirely on solar, it's more about just keeping it topped up and extending that battery life when you're out and about. It's certainly a neat idea, but it's not one that I can see being especially practical in everyday use. I mean, for one, who wants to use their laptop in bright midday sunlight? And crucially, when you're working on your laptop, the screen is likely to be angled down, pointing away from the sun, meaning you can only really actually charge it when you're not working and you've closed it shut. Still, it's always great to see tech firms using new kinds of renewable technology, so it's definitely something I'd like to see go on sale. So those were our top picks from the show this year. Did you have any favorites among them? If so, make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments below and make sure to keep it CNET for a lot more.